All right, all right, all right. We are kicking off today. We're kicking off today. We're kicking off tonight. Let's get it. Let's get it, familia. YouTube family. Got the chill vibes tonight. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Let's get it. Let's get it. Top corner here. All right, all right, all right. We are live. Let's go ahead. Let's pump this out. Let's pump this out. You know what I'm saying? If you're in the Discord, let everybody know we're live right now on YouTube. All right, we got a great session tonight, so hopefully you guys are ready. Take some notes, get excited. I got my dad gang hat on tonight. Let's get it. All right, as we wait for this to get started, we got a couple people that's already on. Where you guys tuning in from? Go ahead and drop it in the chat. Where is everybody tuning in from? Where's everybody at? Where's everybody at? We like to do a quick roll call before we get it started. All right, let's go. Let's go. Rotterdam. Okay, where's that at? Where's that? I don't know if I said that right. Rotterdam. Is that Rotterdam? Did I say it right? Awesome, awesome. All right, all right. So tonight we're going to be going over market reversals. It's going to be lit. Also, guys, if you're plugging in right now, don't forget to drop a like for me real quick. Drop a like on the stream as we turn it up. All right, so we're gonna turn down the music and get this thing rocking. Sheesh. All right, all right, all right. What is going on, everybody? We are back tonight, Thursday night, here on YouTube Live. All right, another Rockstar trading session, man. It's gonna be super fire. As you guys know, we've been rocking these things out. It's like, it only gets better, right? It only gets better. We've just been providing knowledge for you guys, and this is really a good time to kind of take this information in, soak it in, study it, but more importantly, go out there and apply it. So everything that I'm going to be teaching you guys is 1,000% applicable, whether you are brand new to the markets or whether you have already been trading. I know on our Discord, you know, we did a poll, and we have people that have been trading for less than 6 months. We have people that have been trading for 1 to 2 years. And we also have people that have been trading for over 5 years within the Discord community. So, you know, everything that we teach, like I said, is applicable to everybody. You know, and I always tell everybody, no matter how long you've been trading or what you are trading, the greatest room in the world is the room for improvement. So that's what these sessions are about, is to be getting better at trading. It's not necessarily to change your strategy if you already have a strategy, but learning little things that could potentially make your outlooks of the market just a little bit better, a little bit simpler, and easier for you to be able to trade. All right, so super exciting about tonight, guys. We're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into it. Before we do so, as always, if you are brand new and you're watching this, man, hit that subscribe button, like, so we can get this out to more people. And if you're not already in our Discord community, we just broke 100 members in the Discord. All right, so I'm going to be promoting it a little bit more, you know, just to get it rocking and rolling as we, you know, start to drop more and more of our content within the Discord. But we broke 100 members. So what I'm going to be doing is, as I announced on the last live stream, I don't think I put it in the Discord yet, but I did put it on the last live stream. Look at that. Look at that right there. Wow. So we're at 105, right? Yeah, so we're at 105. I put it on Instagram. That's why I put it at. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, what I'm going to be doing is, since we officially broke 100, I'm going to be giving away $100 to somebody in the Discord. So completely random. We'll figure out how we're going to do it. It'll likely be tomorrow. But I'm going to do a poll. I'm going to do a poll in the Discord. So if you're in the Discord, go ahead and participate. I'm not sure if I should do $100 to one person or $50 to two people, right? So we'll go ahead and do that. As a matter of fact, if you're on the live stream right now and you got a thought on that right there, what should we do? Just for us hitting 100, right? Should I give away a full $100 to one person in the Discord, or should I do $50 for two people? Let me know in the chat, all right? Let me know in the chat. But we're still going to be doing the poll. We're going to do the poll in Discord, and whatever everyone agrees on, we're just going to be giving away money. So we're already giving away money for no reason, right? Milestones out here, all right? But I'm super excited, man. I'm excited to get this thing rocking and rolling. You know, if you guys are brand new, my name is Rico, all right? But I go by Rockstar or RockStarrFX here on YouTube. Tonight, we're going to be jumping into what I essentially call market timing reversals. This is something that I learned a couple of years back. It's not like it's not something that's like a end all be all, you know, to trading. It's not something that is necessarily a part of your strategy, but it is a tool that you can use to be able to kind of just making your trading life a bit more convenient. So you guys know that whether you're trading, you know, binaries, this is something that actually I learned when I was a binary options trader, and I traded binaries heavy. So we know that when you're trading binary options, everything is about timing and about price. And when you miss those entry points, it's very easy to just sit on the charts, right? Just sit on the charts and stare at the charts. And what that can eventually lead to is overtrading. What I learned to do is I learned to, whenever I miss certain entries or positions, is to just back away from the charts until my next potential reversal setup. Now, you might be asking yourself, how do you know that the markets are going to have a reaction, or when they're going to have a reaction, if you're not actually looking at the charts? But what if I told you that there are specific times of the day where you can consistently find reversals in the markets without even looking at the markets? It happens again and again and again, right? Time-based trading. So super fire for binaries, but it also works if you're trading leverage, Forex as well. Obviously, I trade indices now, right? It works for that too. And the way that I use it now is that while I'm on the charts, I use it more for when I'm already in positions. And maybe I might be in profit, and I'm looking for maybe a pullback to trail my stops or something like that. I always look at the time. And based off of what time it is, that will determine if I open my charts back up and say, okay, let's see what the market is doing right now. But it's all based on time, right? So that's what we're going to be getting into today. So we're going to start with that. We're going to talk a little bit about the reversals, the time reversals, how to get, how to read them and get good at them. And then I'm going to show you back testing how they actually work with the strategy. Now, Thursday nights are more for binary options, so we are going to be basing it off of our binary option strategy, the one that I taught you guys on last Thursday. So if you guys weren't on last Thursday, make sure you go back and watch that 3-step setup stream that we put on there, and we'll turn it up from there. All right? Sounds good. Sounds good. All right, so drop some sevens in the chat if you guys are ready for the stream tonight. Drop some sevens in the chat as we go ahead and get this thing rocking and rolling. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. Okay, so center stage, baby. All right, so we're pulling up the charts. Random charts again. What are we looking at? This is GBP USD, right? Let me see. Yep, GBP USD. Okay, cool. So we're looking at GBP USD right now. All right. So I got some bullet points here, and I want to talk about this before I actually get into the reversals itself. We're going to talk a little bit about why this happens, okay? So when we're looking at market timing reversals, I want you guys to understand that there are specific times throughout the day and throughout the hour that the markets tend to have reactions. Now, this is all psychological. It's, for the most part, it's a psychological play in the market, and it goes back to that third type of market analysis, right? The third, remember we went over the 3 types of market analysis, right? So what was the third type of market analysis that we went over? Who could put it in the chat? Who pays attention? Who pays attention? What's the third one that we go over? All right, who can pay attention? Who knows this? Who knows this? Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, so I know there's a little lag on the stream, so I'll go ahead and answer in about 5 seconds just to make sure y'all got y'all answers typed in before I give them away. Okay. There you go. Samantha got it. Sentiment, right? So this is market sentiment. So as we go throughout these trainings, hopefully you guys are noticing a pattern. Even though the when we open up the charts, we're focused mostly on technicals. The reason why a lot of this stuff happens has to do with the sentimental analysis, right? So when you're looking at market timing reversals, okay, there's a few reasons why these happens. Number one, order flow and liquidity windows, okay? So many banks, like banks, institutes, even like, big traders, systems, all those types of things, they tend to put their orders in based on time cycles. This is good stuff to know so that you understand that what I'm about to teach you is not random, okay? So they base it on time cycles, okay? Those time cycles are going to be what we talk about tonight. The other reason is when it comes to algorithms, high frequency trading, AI trading, all of those things. I don't do them. I don't mess with them, but they are a thing, right? A huge portion of the market is ran by algorithms, which are also operated on time-based triggers, okay? So typically when you have an algorithm, the algorithm is only going to react when you input it to react. So even if it's automatic, there are still triggers that happen within these algorithms, and a lot of the algorithms are time-based algorithms. This is why understanding timing is so important in the market, especially if you're scalping and you're looking for quick reversals. You have to be on point, right? That's why I use this so much for binaries, okay? Number three is going to be news and data releases. Okay, so you guys know when we're talking about fundamentals, one of the first things I do every morning before I actually get on the charts is I open up Forex Factory and I look at the news. The news always comes on at around a specific time, whether that be the whole hour, like a 9 o'clock, a 9:30, right, a half hour, or a 10:15, right? And we're going to get into that. But again, it's all based on time. You also have trader psychology, just basic routine, okay? Humans naturally operate based off of routine, and traders tend to operate based off of pattern routine, okay? So when you're looking at a lot of this stuff, people tend to check the charts at specific times. So like, for example, Forex session starts 8 a.m. Markets open 9:30 a.m., right? Eastern Standard Time, right? So there's specific times that people tend to get on the charts. So this is why we'll stop there. There's a bunch of other reasons that I have written down. I still take notes still to this day, and I've been trading this strategy. Well, I've been using this for years now, but I can go on and on with the list as to why the psychological aspect of timing just works with trading. But the fact of the matter is that most people, most traders, beginner traders, and even expert traders don't take the time to learn this. And it could change everything in your trading if you just understood time, right? Now, I think I've been blessed a little bit. I don't know what it is, but I have a time OCD, right? So for those of you guys that don't know, okay, everybody in my personal life makes fun of me. I don't know what it is. For as long as I live, I don't know. It's because I had a lot of siblings growing up, and we used to time everything, like how long you in the bathroom for, who, you know what I'm saying? I got to brush my teeth in the morning before we go to school. It's like, yo, you're taking 10 minutes. I don't know what it is, but I time everything that I do. And I always contribute that to the reason why I was so good at binary options, because it's all timing based, right? But, you know, when you're looking at what it is that I'm about to teach you guys tonight, I absolutely, once I learned this, I like fell in love with it. I almost became obsessed with understanding market timing. And it's something that it's so simple. Anybody can learn it. So let's jump into it, okay? Oops, I didn't mean to move that. I meant to move this, okay? So let's jump into it. So I want you guys to write this down. There are specific times that the markets tend to reverse throughout the hour, okay? So you're going to have, all right, you're going to have your half hour marks. Make that a little bit bigger. Boom. Your quarter hour. All right. I'm telling you, this is so fire, guys. Watch when we get into it. I'm going to blow your mind. All right. And your full hours or whole hours or whatever you want to call it. half hour, quarter hour, full hour, whole hour. Right, so your whole number. All right. I'll put whole. I like whole better. Okay, so this is how this works. When you're looking at your whole hours, okay, who can tell me what whole hours look like? All right, so your whole hours are all of the like on the dot. So you got like 8 a.m. So 8:00, 9:00, 10:00. Oops. Actually, I'll put it back to full hour. All right. You guys following me? Boom. Then you have your quarter hours. All right. And your quarter hours are the 15s and the 45s. So that could be, for example, 9:15 or 9:45. Okay, and then you have your half hours, and that's pretty self-explanatory, but that's gonna be like 9:30, 8:30, so on and so forth. All right, you guys following me so far? Drop something in the chat. Okay, so how do you use this, right? How do you use this? This is all relevant stuff. Like I said, whether it be like for coming back to the charts, whether it be for like a set it and forget it, whether it be for looking for binary entries at these specific time frames, right? Whether it be for determining what time you even get on or get off the charts. There's so many reasons to understand market timing and the reversals that happen during these time frames. Okay, now if you don't believe this to be true, as I always say, the market's moving patterns, right? You guys know this. The market's moving patterns. These patterns happen again and again and again, and I can't stress that enough. Like, people really don't understand. Like, they don't believe me when I say it. People, yeah, I tell people all the time, you're a day trader. Oh my God, I don't know how you learned that. It's so simple if you just put the time in to understand it. So this is GBP USD. I just keep these open so you guys can see them. Now we can see we have a bunch of different reactions here. We're going to look at the main ones, right? So we're just going to look at the main ones. And again, this is completely random. I'm not planning this out or anything like that. You look here, here, here. We can all agree those are some pretty big reactions, right? Same thing for here, same thing for here, same thing for here. We got some pretty big reactions, right? So these are essentially all trades that you would want to be in, right? We look here. These are positions that you want to be in. You want to catch this drop. Can we all agree on that? Let me know in the chat. Right? You want to catch this drop. Right? You would want to, like, again, if you're trading binaries, I don't know, you would want to catch that. Or even if you're trading regular, right? It's an uptrend. You would want to catch that reversal right there. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you guys how magical this is. Because if you don't know, you don't know. If you don't know, you don't know. Right? So I get excited with this stuff. I'm like low-key a little nerd with this, right? So, all right, so look at this. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll look at this first one right here. Let me go ahead and outline it for y'all. We're going to look right here. Boom. Okay, we're going to focus on that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get a vertical line in there. Let's look at this reversal. And again, it's no coincidence that this happens here. Okay, by the way, I didn't mention this, but obviously, whenever you figure this stuff out, these 10 minutes before these times. So I would always recommend about 10 minutes before the times, which is why when I get on, I trade at 9:30. I'm not on the charts at like 8:30, you know, 8:45. I literally get on the charts at like between 9 and 9:15 a.m. And I do all my markups, and then I leave, and I come back at around 9:25-ish to see what we're looking at, and then 9:30, I'm in the trade. If you're in the Discord, you see how fast it is that I get into these positions. Like today, for example, I literally dropped a quick video in the Discord. Less than like 3 minutes later, I was in a position, and we smacked, you know, target 2 right off the bat, right? So look at this. All right, I highlighted 2 places here, right? But the real drop is right here, okay? So if we're looking here, obviously this is it. If you're looking at where we're at right now, let's say I was going to enter. So we're looking for sells. Let's say we're looking for sells, which will be potentially the break of a trend, right? So let's just say we're moving up. Oops. All right, so we got an uptrend going here. Boom, boom, boom. And now we're starting to look for sells. We're at the overbought level. Okay. Look at this. 2315 is right here. Okay. 2315 is right here. If you were on 10 minutes before that, which would have been 05, you would have got on the charts at this candle, market going up. You would have seen your candle close bearish. You would have known it's dropping down. 2315, the drop happened. Boom. You guys see that? So let's look at how many pips that was. From 2315 down to the bottom. All right. So it's about 17 pips. All right, quick scalps. Quick scalps. Markets pull back a little bit. Depending on if you were trailing stops or if you just left your stop loss, you could have still been in this position. Again, it all depends on how you trade. I don't know how you guys all trade. I'm just giving y'all little tips and tricks that work, okay? Boom, you would have made over 30 pips on that full drop. Because this pullback right here didn't even put you in drawdown. So some of y'all, if y'all had your stops at break even, you wouldn't even have been stopped out at this pullback, right? If you were trading binaries, it would have definitely been over. You would have cleared that, like, you know what I'm saying? Right away. Boom, 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 boom. Easy work. Easy. Easy. We'll look at the next one up here. And then we're going to pull up the binary indicators. So we'll use them together. Look at the next one right here. This next drop. Okay, boom. Actually, let me mark this too. Let's do this. So right here was 2315. Okay. Fire. Boom. All right, let's look at this one. It's no coincidence that this happens, guys. I'm telling y'all. All right. Oops. So if we zoom in here, again, you always want to be on the charts around these times, okay? So quarter hours, full hours, half hours, right? So, boom. All right, so we got 6:45 right here. That's this big blue candle. Okay, so if we were on, let's just say 10 minutes before the quarter hour, it's 6:45. If we were on 10 minutes before 45, let's just say right here, or even 5 minutes, right? We would have seen the markets coming up. Maybe you would have been looking for some sells, break, right? Boom. You see this drop. You come here, the very next candle is the full hour. This is the 7 o'clock candle right here. Right? So again, let's put these verticals. I'm going to put it on the 45 and the 7 o'clock. And by the way, this is a 5-minute time frame. Okay, so I trade on the 5 minutes when I'm scalping. That's where I get my entries at. Okay? So you guys see, again, and just like everything in trading, guys, don't be so black and white. Like, you got to adjust too. I know that's where a lot of people struggle, is being like too much. Like, just too much. Where are we at? 6:45? All right, I was just making sure. All right. 6:45. Boom. Set up at 6:45. Let's zoom out. Let's get the next one. It would be right here. All right. So we're going to do this one. Oops. This area here. So we got another big, nice drop. And again, this is just random. I'm just giving y'all examples. I'm showing y'all how this works. All right. So this is exactly at 10:30. Boom. Okay. And we'll do this one too. All right. Boom. You guys see that? Nice drop right there. Okay, and this is at... You guys can see the times on the bottom, right? I don't know if it's too small for y'all. That's 13:15. All right. Let me know in the chat if you guys can see the times on the bottom. You follow the crosshair. Follow the crosshair to the bottom. And let me know if you guys can see the times that I'm pointing at. Right? So that's 13:15 right there. Let me go ahead and put the line on it. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let me move. So I'm going to put a vertical line on all of them at the exact times that we marked up, so y'all can see them a little bit more clear. This was at 10:30. Boom. Okay. You guys see that? Now, if you're trading with the trend, right? Because all of these examples were against the trend, and it still worked out because the trend is up right now. We're creating higher highs and higher lows, right? So let's go in for the kill with that. Let's go with the trend real quick. And I'm gonna make this one quicker. I'll make it quicker so that we can start talking a little bit about the strategy, right? So as you guys see right there, 415 flat. Boom, market reverse. Okay. Then you have, what's the next one right here? All right, let's see where it reversed at. Blue candles, 45. Was that 45? Yeah, 45. 945. Okay. And just like anything you learn in trading, it's not going to be 100%. So don't look at, you know what I'm saying? If you go ahead and back test and get one or two examples where it didn't pan out, you know what I'm saying? I understand shit happens. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it like that, but this is how it is. Things happen. You ain't always going to get your way with the market, right? But these do happen again and again and again. Okay. I don't even know. This is not even a good trade. I'm not going to mark that one up. All right. These are more boom, boom, boom. Okay. So we got 5 examples on the chart right now. Actually, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6. All right. So 6 examples on the chart right now. Do you guys see that? All right. So you're seeing these play out. Okay. You're seeing them play out a little bit. So half hour, quarter hour, full hour. Okay. I use these again. I use these so much, and I use them more for convenience. This is how I'm able to not be so glued to the charts, but still know exactly when to get on the charts. This is how, like, if you guys, I know some of y'all are probably working with us, right? You probably in one of the offices and stuff like that. If you've ever been in the office with me and I'm running around, you know, running the office, doing what I got to do, and then you guys see me run back to my room, right? And I'm hitting the charts, you might ask, well, how do you know? Because I just know. I got the timer on. I know what time it is. I know it's 9:45. I know it's about to be 10 o'clock. I know it's 9:30. Like, I follow these times to the key, and it's what allows me to move around. Even when I'm at home, like with my kids are upstairs. I might be looking for a setup, looking for a trade setup, and I'm like, I don't see anything right now, but I think this is going to happen. I'm personally, this is just me. Everyone's not the same. I'm not going to sit there for 15 minutes. I don't do that. I don't sit there and stare at the charts for 15 minutes, because what that does is, for me, it just messes with my psychology. I get anxious, right? I'm like, I'm waiting for this trade. 15, 30 minutes goes by and the entry still ain't there. So now I'm like, okay, then that's where you start to get into entries where you probably shouldn't have gotten into those entries, right? So now you're rushing the trade or you're forcing the trade. I'm about making my trade life as convenient as possible. So when I learned this was absolutely next level for me. This has allowed me to go ahead and mark up my charts and go upstairs. And if I haven't made my coffee already, go make my coffee real quick, come back down in 10 minutes and get into that trade right there on the spot, right? Right there on the spot. So it's super fire. It's something that's so simple and so basic. But again, especially if you're trading binary options, I know a lot of people are. If you're trading binary options, or even if you're just scalping or trading quick reversals, you're going to want to get good at understanding the timing of the market. And when you start to understand the timing of the market and you implement that, or you put that hand in hand with your actual strategy, right? Let me pull up the RockStarrFX. All right. Pull that up real quick. This is where we get lit. Okay, this is where we start talking. Now we're talking. Okay, now we're talking. All right. So here's how I would use this with my actual strategy. Again, this is not something that will determine whether or not I get in a trade. It's something to help me. So I will show you guys what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the best examples of this working. Okay, the best examples. Okay, just based off of what we have on the screen right now. So this first one, if you're just trading the strategy and you look at this, well, one, we didn't even come up to the top Bollinger Band. So this probably wouldn't even have been an entry. Okay, let's talk about the 3-step setup real quick. Okay, so with the 3-step setup strategy, there are 3 steps that we are following. Okay, number one, who knows them actually? Who knows them? Put them in the chat. Okay, but number one is going to be indicator confluence. Okay, so we want to check both of our indicators. Okay, indicator confluence. There's 2 indicators that I use when I trade binary options. Only 2. It's going to be Bollinger Bands and the stochastics or stochastic RSI. You can use either one. Okay, with those, we're looking for overbought confluences between both of them. I'm not going to go into the full strategy breakdown. Again, we just did that last week. And we'll probably end up doing it again, maybe not next week, but the week after. So just watch the stream from last week if you haven't, or if you want to see it live and get some questions answered. When we do the stream again, just get on the stream, all right? So we want confluence between the Bollinger Bands and the stochastics. So number one, if we're looking at this setup right here at 23.15, even though we did get a big reaction in the market, is this a position that we probably would have been in? Okay, the answer is no. The answer is no. You got to remember, you got to stick to your plan. So even if the market starts to move in your direction, don't force the trade and don't jump into a trade that you know you probably shouldn't have jumped into. So the first thing is confluence, right? So Bollinger Bands. Are we at or near these Bollinger Bands? The top Bollinger Bands. Yes or no? Put it in the chat. Are we at the top Bollinger Bands? Where our vertical line is at? No, we're not. Okay, second thing, where that vertical line is at, are we overbought in the markets? No. No. So even though we did get a reaction and reversal, and this was probably a trend break, yeah, it was a trend break right here, right? I would not have been in this trade. I wouldn't have been in this trade. Okay? So again, you want to use what I just taught you with your strategy. Our strategy does not line up. Even though we did get a reversal in the market, that's not a trade we would have taken. Okay? Boom. Got to make sure the trades work. Make sure they work. All right? All right, here we got another one, 415. This isn't the best. Again, this is another one. It's not the best. Not the best, but it is still good. So first thing, confluence, Bollinger Bands. Are we at or near a Bollinger Band? Yes or no? Okay. So the answer is yes. We are at the bottom Bollinger Band. And if we're at the bottom Bollinger Band, what are we looking for? Buys or sells? Okay. If we're at the bottom Bollinger Band, we are looking for buys in the market, right? So boom, so we're at that bottom Bollinger Band, perfect. Are we oversold on the stochastics though? We're not really oversold. So this is one of those hit or misses. I mean, we are kind of there. We touched it, and it did cross up. I will say that. We did touch it, and it did cross up. We are not oversold though. So even though this is a potential trade, it's not the best. If we move this over to where our stochastics crossed at, it's going to be right here. So the stochastics crossed here. Okay. And if you're following at least my rules or my steps, my rule is whenever the stochastics cross, you wait for the candle to close in your favor, which this one did. All right. And you would typically enter. Now, if you were trading binaries, full transparency, and you only traded 1 candlestick, you probably wouldn't have cleared this. If you traded 3 candles, you would have been good, or 2 candles, you'd have been good. And if you're just scalping the markets, you would have been good with that setup too. If you would have got in here, boom, that's already over 15 pips. And I mean, that's even more from here to here, over 35 pips, right? So this would have been one of those hit or misses again. Great trade though, still a great trade, but it's all depending on how it is that you trade. And that's also why, too, another big thing with binary options, I know a lot of people like to take the really fast trades. I'm a firm believer that the reason why there's so many successful people that trade binaries is because it's not about how many pips you can catch or how much the market's moved. It's just about being right. So if I have a strategy that can pretty much help me to determine the direction of the market, I don't have to know how much the market's going to move. I just got to know the direction of the market. And with what it is that we teach with this strategy, essentially, it's pretty simple to get the direction of the market, right? So if we're getting all of our confluences with our strategy, and then we also got that, just so happens, quarter hour, which we know at these time frames, the markets typically reverse. In my mind, psychologically, I understand, okay, it was coming down. If we typically get these reverses at this time frame, that means it's going to go up. And if the time says that it's going to go up, and my strategy says that it's going to go up, then I'm looking for buys. So my point is, it does not matter if I'm in this trade for 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 15 minutes. If it's going to go up, it's going to go up. I'd rather play it safe. And if I know that it's going to eventually go up, I'm going to take the little bit of the longer route. Not too long. I probably wouldn't be in this trade for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. At that point, you're better off trading leverage and just catching a bunch of pips, right? But I would have done maybe a 2 or 3 candlestick trade, which is how I always tell you guys to trade binaries anyway, right? I stick typically between that 3 candle rule kind of thing, right? So I want to typically trade about 2.5 to 3 candles out from where my entry is at. Again, I know on YouTube, social media, big hype around like these 1 minute strategies and all of that. I personally, I don't bang with them. I don't bang with them. My thing is at that point, that's where people look at trading and they really see it as gambling, because like, bro, the market's so volatile. You can't really determine the direction in 1 minute. Like, it just doesn't make sense, right? So that's why I let the markets move. I let the markets do their thing. Okay, if I know that they're going to be going up, I can put in a 15-minute trade, and as long as I'm correct, they're up just a little bit on the binary side, I win. Okay, so I want you guys to kind of get the mentality with me as well. Okay, so if you're trading like me, you definitely would have cleared this trade. All right, it would have been a good setup. Okay, so you could be a little bit more riskier with that. Okay, we'll go on to the next one. Okay, so we got this right here. All right, step number 1. This was beautiful, by the way. Step number 1, we got at or near Bollinger Band. Yes, where are we? We're at the top band. Top band means we're doing what? We're looking for sells in the market. We want the market to go down because right now the markets are overbought, right? The markets are overbought, okay? And we actually got a few indications here, and I'll go over them too, right? So the markets are overbought. That's number 1. Numero dos, okay, is going to be, I said that nice, by the way. That was good. I'm getting the Spanish thing down, you know what I'm saying? But right here, stochastics. So are we overbought on the stochastics? Yes, we are above. Beautiful. Beautiful. Both of these are great. So great confluence is here. Okay. The next thing is we get our stochastic cross, and our stochastic cross happened at exactly 6:45. Could this setup get any more beautiful? Probably not. Probably not, right? So at exactly 6:45, the market's reversed. Boom. And we got our exactly what we were looking for with our trade setup. Okay. So obviously we wait for that candle to close in our direction. We would have entered right about there. Boom. Okay, so we would have entered right there, and we would have just had the markets drop. Boom, boom, boom. Good to go. Good to go. Okay. Another thing that I noticed over here as well, and we learned a little bit about this on Tuesday. Look at the long wicks at the top. So the long wicks at the top, to me, means the buyers were attempting to keep this in a push up, and they couldn't do it. Boom. We got that shooting star right there. Boom. You know what I'm saying? And there you go. There you go. So we got the strategy, we got timing, and we got understanding candlesticks and how candles work. Those wicks at the top would tell me that buyers are trying to continue to push it up, but they cannot, which is why we have long wicks at the top. And sellers got what they wanted, which was a nice fat drop. Boom. Full move. Again, over 35 pips for the full move. Okay, for the full move. So again, You could have done 3 candles. You could have done 5 candles. You could have done 6 candles. You could have done 10 candles. As long as you know which direction the market is moving, it doesn't matter. That's my point. It doesn't matter. Right? So there's no rush. No rush on those candles. Okay? Look at that. 645. All right, let's go down. Let's go down. Let's go down. We got 3 more examples, right? I'm going to show them. 3 more examples. This one, I don't even got to talk about this one. This one looks crazy. All right. So we got 945 here. Yes, we are at the Bollinger Bands. No, this move looks, it's almost about over. And the reason being is it's probably because we're crossing up on this 200 moving average. And that's a whole nother training. If you guys used to get on my live streams before, you know, we used to talk a lot about the 200 moving average and how it acts as that magnet, as you guys see, right? So we crossed up, pulls it back down, right? So we want to stay away from this. Stay away from that moving average when we're trading. All right? I don't like to trade next to it. It makes the market do crazy things. Look at this. Look at these wicks right here. Look at these long candles just to come and hit this moving average. That's why I keep it on the screen. I don't like to trade next to it at all. Markets are so weird. Like always so weird around the 200. All right. Okay. So boom. All right. We got this right here. Okay. We marked up 1030 here. Probably would have been better to be on at around 1015 if you're looking at it. So now that I'm looking at it with the actual strategy, which obviously we got the Bollinger Bands, we got the stochastics overbought here. At 1015 would have been this one. It wouldn't have been 1030. Because again, you're basing this off of your strategy. So if you're sitting on the charts, let's say you're sitting on the charts at 10 o'clock or at 10:05, and at 10:05 you're starting to see, okay, my stochastics are overbought, sorry. Because if you look down here, I just went blindly. When I marked these up, I went blindly without looking at the strategy, obviously. But look, you look down here, the stochastics are oversold. So the question is when is it going to be dropping? And that's when you'll kind of make that prediction of like, okay, if it's 10 o'clock, if it's 10:05 right now, it's probably going to happen around that quarter hour, right? So I'll be trading closer to that quarter hour. So that's when I'll be on the charts. I'll get on at around, that 10:15 mark, right? But yeah, so bada bing, bada boom. Okay. So 10:15 is where this one is at. As you guys can see, market comes up. Boom. Top Bollinger Band. Awesome. We already discussed this is overbought already. So we're just waiting for the what? Stochastic to drop, right? To cross down. So as you guys can see, cross down. Boom. Okay. And even if you would have entered here, this is one of those trades where you would have been sweating. If you were trading binaries, you would have been sweating, right? Here's why. So as you guys can see, we started off in profit. It pulled back a little bit. If you're trading regular leverage, you got a little bit of drawdown. Not too much. What is that? Like half a pip? Literally 1 pip, right? So you got 1 pip drawdown. And you'd be like, oh man, there's, if you're trading binaries, you're like, it's about to expire. It's about to expire. And then boom, completely tanks and drops. This is like towards the end of that expiration when it just drops like crazy. And you start like celebrating. You pull out your camera and you're like, oh, look at this drop, right? you know damn well you were sweating the whole trade, right? But yeah, so that's this right here, okay? So that's this right here. But again, if you did 3 candles, you would have been good. If you did 4, you would have been good. 5, 6, 7, 8, you would have been good. There's no reason to rush the trade. Let the markets move. Okay, let the markets move. But again, 10:15, we got that drop, as you guys see right there. Boom. So that would have been the perfect time to be on the charts and on the lookout for the reversals. Okay. Again, it's not to say, because I don't want you guys to be so black and white. It's not to say that the reversals are always going to happen at those times. We're getting lucky tonight. Like literally everything I'm marking up is happening at those times. It might not happen at the exact time. The idea and the concept is just to understand that you should be on those charts around those times. You should be looking for the reversals around those times. So even if it's 2 minutes early, even if it's 3 minutes later, as long as you're on the charts at these times, it helps you understand timing a little bit better. All right. All right, and this is the last one. Last but not least, boom, we got 13.15. All right. So again, this is another one where we got the drop literally at the stochastics cross again, which was nice. Okay. So boom, markets come up. We get that huge, nice big exhaustion candle there. So again, we're talking about multiple confluences. And it's funny, these are all things that I've taught you guys within the last week. These are all things that I taught you guys within the last week. All very applicable. It doesn't matter how new you are. You see these long wicks to the top? That means they're trying to push it down. Long wicks to the top means they're trying to push it down. We like that when we're looking for reversals, right? We like that. So we got a few confluences here. What do we have? We have Bollinger Bands. We wicked up, smacked those Bollinger Bands, pierced it right in there. Boom, check. Next thing, are we overbought on the stochastics? We absolutely are. Boom, check. All right. And last but not least, I moved it over so that we can see it. Do we get our stochastic cross? Yes, we got the stochastic cross at exactly 13.15 yet again. Yet again. All right. We get this huge drop, drop, right? So let's go ahead and put that in because this would have been our entry point. Boom. All right. Now, yes, during this position, we do have some minor drawdown. All right. What do we have? We got 3 pips drawdown. About 3, a little less than 3 pips on the drawdown. 3 pips. 3 pips is not going to kill you. It definitely should. If 3 pips takes your account out, you are over leveraging on a whole nother level. You're like in a different dimension right now. Right? You know, that's just insane. So you got 3 pips drawdown, okay, before you got this massive drop. So let's go ahead and measure this out. From here, first drop, boom, 10 pip scalp, 13 pips, all the way down here. So we got a nice 17 pip drop. And I say 17 pip drop because that was 17 pips before it consolidated. You could have still held this trade and it's still dropping to this day. Like it's still dropping. So I say 17 to be nice and generous, but really you're up over 28 pips right now. You're up over 28 pips right now. There was no major pullback. So like, even if you're trading, you know, trend lines, like there really wasn't any reason to hop out of this trade. There was no major pullbacks or anything like that, you know? So yeah, you technically would have still been in this trade and you would have still been up. If you're trading leverage, if you're trading binaries, you would have cleared 3 days ago. You would have been good. You would have been good. You would have been on to a whole nother trade right now, you know? But tell me that's not fire. I don't know about y'all. I get excited for this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I get excited for this kind of stuff. Right? And you see how it plays out, especially when you get your exact confirmations at the same time as the potential timing reversal. So you got your half hour, quarter hours, and full hours. And it happens again and again and again. This is crazy work. This is crazy work. This is why I say, guys, you know, because everything I'm teaching you guys, it's like literally stuff you're learning right here. You're learning this on YouTube for free. I'm teaching you guys how to make thousands of dollars a day. Like I'm literally teaching you how it is that I trade. I don't do anything extra, fancy, ordinary. I don't know fibs. I keep it real with you. I don't know fibs. I don't know nothing about Elliott waves. I don't know nothing about none of those things. I don't know smart money concepts, and I don't know them. I'm not saying that anything bad about them. I just don't need them to pay my bills. I don't need them to live my life. You know, this is all simple stuff. Okay, just following simple steps. And this is why I say I'm so big on this. I truly do believe this. Trading, like, it's all psychology. Like, if I could just grab your guys' head right now, you're like, it's all psychology. Why aren't you listening to me? If I made a video tomorrow, right? If I made a video tomorrow and I upload it on YouTube and I put the best trading psychology strategy in the world, I would get no views on it. Any video that I've made about trading that was about mindset, how to view the markets, like mentally, psychology, trading plans, any of those things, get no views, and I still upload them. I'm going to keep uploading them because I know there's somebody out there that needs to hear that, right? Somebody out there needs to hear it, okay? But my biggest videos are like best strategy videos and all these things. Well, actually, my biggest video is the MT5 video, how to use MT5. I never thought that would blow up, which is crazy. But that proves my point even more. There are millions of people searching up how to use MT5 and make money, and they don't even know what MT5 is. You guys aren't even learning the basics of this stuff. And then they'll try it out, MT4, MT5, for like 2 months, not even 2 weeks, and then they're done. And they don't realize they just gave up thousands of dollars. Like, I don't say this to hype y'all up. I don't operate on hype. I operate on belief and skill. And I truly do believe it isn't that complicated to learn the skill of trading, right? Just a few things you got to get good at. Few things you got to get good at. And one of the main ones is how you think. Unfortunately, because I know a lot of us either don't think or we don't think the best, right? Got a little negative thinking there, you know? But yeah. So simple stuff, right? What'd you guys think about this, the whole timing thing? What'd you guys think about the whole timing thing before we wrap it up? Okay, one of my favorite, things to talk about here. All right. Do you guys, anybody have any questions before we wrap it up? Or any questions for tonight? If not, or if you don't got anything right now, then we will be in the Discord as well. So, you guys, we can always let me know in the Discord. All right. Okay. Great stuff. Great stuff. All right, guys. So with that being said, man, I'm super excited. Again, if you guys aren't in the Discord, make sure you get your butts in the Discord. We're at 105 right now. Let's see, how much we can jump that up by. The link is in the description below if you guys are not already in. I don't know what you're waiting for if you're not already in, right? But again, we are giving away some money. It seems like from the chat here, people are voting 2 people $50 each, which is pretty dope. Okay. So we'll probably end up doing that. I'm going to put the poll in the Discord chat tonight so we can figure that out. And then we will go ahead and bless everybody on a Friday with some moolah, baby. All right. So with that being said, guys, we're going to wrap it up for tonight. Have a blessed night. This is your boy Rico, a.k.a. RockStarrFX. We'll be back on Monday. I'm out.